Welcome back, Charlotte and Melissa Abel. I'm looking forward to continuing our fantastic episodes about astrology and all astrology. And I wanted to just say that when we were talking in between the episodes about what we wanted to do in this second episode, I said, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to do it. And I believe that struck a chord somewhere.
Yes, it did.
It did. All of a sudden, when you said that, Jim, the guide said, oh, he gets it. This is what this transit is about. We're not talking about it anymore. We're actually doing it. We're not seeing ourselves as in consciousness. We're expressing as consciousness. And it's just all the difference. And yet it's subtle, and yet it's not. So I love it. There's a lot of riddle around this energy, but thank you, Jim, they said he just nutshelled it. There's your podcast. That's wonderful. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it then. And shall we begin then?
Let's.
This, what they call conjunction, two planets coming together, Saturn and Neptune. Okay, the words that were given by the guides through astrology are Saturn is your greatness, how great you are, and your Pisces energy is your mastery. So these guys coming together are going to create the foundation for this next time. It's just like coming into being of like a time when human consciousness is going to expand, because we have the dreams and you have the reality energy to help you form it and make it happen in the world. It's like the architect that dreams up their visions, like how something's going to be, but it takes the people and the knowledge of how to build that. So you have the magnificence of a cathedral when it's all finished. So it's that kind of energy. We have the structure to help us create the dreams. Our job is to figure out what we want. So it's like the energy is coming in, the frequencies are higher. So how many times have you heard, be kind, care, feel, think about how other people feel. What would you do if this was you? Those kinds of things, like helping you expand to seeing beyond yourself so that you see the wholeness of things. So the way that we were looking at this mastery and your greatness is like these two energies coming together to create the greatness of this next time, because we're masters. We are divine beings. And the excitement that comes with this, it's like we were looking at how we had to fight to get in here. How many souls were trying to get into Earth at this time, because I think the word must have gone out that this is big time stuff. And come in and celebrate, whether you just come in and take a breath, doesn't matter, you were there, or if you came in to be the bridge people or the new people coming in who will take your vision and create. We're the architects, so they will make it happen. And I just think it's the most exciting time ever. And then here we are. We made it.
So we are here. And I'm thinking that what you're saying is that our ability to achieve what we want is going to be enhanced. Is that fair?
I truly believe that, yes. So it's stepping into these higher frequencies. And when we say higher frequencies, think about when you're with friends and you laugh and you're joyful and you just are so happy to be there and you're in the now moment, because the rest of the world is out there doing whatever it's doing, but you're here having the time of your life with loved ones. So it's like sharing that energy, and that's high frequency. That's how you want to live.
Yes.
And so it's interesting because the guys are pointing out that Coco, Charlotte right now, is the embodiment of Neptune, which is that visionary. And this is how it could be. And it's expansive. And let's send love and peace and let's feel it and let's laugh. And that's true. And yet they're saying, and yet Saturn is boots on the ground. Okay, how do we not talk about it? What do we actually do to be that? And so it's interesting because Aries in all astrology language vernacular the word is who. And the guys explained that before we even got here to be in these fleshly packages, you had to know who you were with such a degree of certainty that you beat 400 trillion to 1 odds of being here. And that's scientific. Like you had to know this was like your who was who you knew yourself to be before you even got here. Everything that you built and achieved as a soul or ancestor experiences, however you want to look at it. And so this now we have our mastery and our greatness coming into our who. So it's like the way that the guides have said is Aries is the temple of the who, and Saturn in Aries represents the greatness of divine will, and Neptune in Aries represents the mastery of inspired being. And so, Jim, what you so eloquently and unknowingly uttered was, let's not talk about it, let's do it. So how many things do we say, I'd love to do this, and I'd love to read that book, and I'd love to meditate more, and I'd love to go here in my car. And we just, every day I find that I still give away more to other people, time and notifications and whatever. And then I'm still not doing those things that I say I'm passionate about. So this is where you actually get in your car and you go and you do that thing, or you pick up the book, or you make that journal note. Whatever it is that you've been saying is important to you, Saturn says, let's not talk about it. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the setup of all this. It's so exciting, really. And if you think about this, it is a reset. It is a relaunch. So maybe life is pretty darn good. I think when the guys say gratitude, you can never go wrong with gratitude. Never, ever. Whatever you're grateful for. But where do you want to scale up a little bit? What if this is 7.0 you? What does 8.0 look like? What are those tricks? What are those things? And enjoy it. Be here now. But it's instead of experiencing it, they want us to be it. And that's the biggest thing. And we'll learn, oh, what does that feel like? What does that mean? I know.
Let's say that. Let's go back over that again, because I think that's a pretty big point that you're talking about. So let's say, for example, because my mind was racing as you're talking about what are the things that I think I want to do, but I don't do for some reason. For example, I love music, and I have stepped back from music for a while. So I think to myself, okay, I'd like to get back into music. So as I'm getting back into music, tell me again, I'm supposed to have a certain mindset there, right?
I think the action alone of doing that unexpected thing and just saying, okay, I'm going to pick up my drumsticks, see what happens. And that alone is like changing up your brain. Is what? We thought he was this. We thought he was just saying he wanted to do it and he was never doing it. But now he's actually doing it? What?
Right.
This is the beginning of something. So just the very act of, it doesn't have to look a certain way, feel a certain way, but you're actually just doing it.
And all of us have things that we've been thinking of doing and wanting to do, and we haven't done. Every single person can just start doing something that they've wanted to do.
And it's what I find, it's an unconscious thing, opening a drawer and seeing the mess and I always wanted to clean it, take it in and reshuffle it. And amazingly that you had time to do that. And you still have time to do the other things that you wanted to do. So it's even little things like that. See in your closet, let's get these old clothes out and do this other declutter in a sense. I'm just enthralled with the whole thing of how you just step into it. You just do it. You don't think about it. You just do it. And it's really cool. Really cool.
But one thing that I've been doing, because I'm a car girl, as Jim, and I have some new cars and old cars, but I have some cars to choose from. So when I even go to the grocery stores, what car will I choose today? But also when I come home from the grocery store, it's 4 miles, but I will typically I'll take an 8-mile trip. I'll take a 10-mile. Well, I'll just say, I think I'm just going to I'm going to pick a road. So it's like I'm just changing up that direct, I'm going to the store, I'm coming home, and it's like, my brain is, I don't know what she's going to do. What is she going to do?
Right.
This is fun because it's unfamiliar. And it's like the bear went over the mountain to see what he could see. It's that kind of philosophy. It doesn't have to land anywhere or feel a certain way. It's just like the very act of something different, something new.
Mm-hmm. It's like I've been driving around, like taking different ways to and from all the local places, because in days of old, I used to ride my horse on all these old roads. It used to be dirt at the time. And now I
Oh,
drive down and just like revel in the changes, because of what had been nobody living in that woods, it's now a whole development back there. It's just like
yeah.
an amazing thing to register the changes and still, I guess, have that feeling of when I used to ride my horse down there. It's just a very cool thing just to look and see the changes and realize, yes, everything's changing. Yeah. And it's okay. Just loving it, really.
Speaking of changes, I heard on the news today that they're actually thinking of doing away with landline telephones altogether.
What?
Yeah, like it's funny because even though we haven't relied on them for a while, it's like this is actually they're taking out that old copper wire and it's fiber optics, and it's, to me, it's such a symbol in the outer world of what this change is about. And if you think about the fiber optics, it's the speed and it's the light, and versus the old attached to the grounded. It's cool to see these symbols outside of us and reflects what's going on inside outside. It's the all of everything.
So that's interesting that you said symbols, because that's another way that we communicate too, more and more, rather than all the words and everything that we jabber about. It's like the symbology of different things. And I've been noticing more and more the what I'll term coincidences, which really aren't. It's just, I always look at it as like the universe or spirit is just guiding me here so that I'm there at the exact moment to see an eagle in the sky, or just you look up and a hawk or something like that. It's just like I always look at it like I'm really in the flow, even though I might have been mulling around in my mind about something, look up and, oh, there's a symbol. Just the symbols that are all around us for everything. It's another language to help us come into our greatness and our mastery, because you're aware of it, the awareness of this new consciousness coming in. It's an amazing thing. And the awareness for me comes in like when I go to a grocery store, and there'll be certain people that check you out and you automatically know the ones, don't go there, because they're either too slow or they just jabber at you the whole time when you're trying to focus. So it's just interesting how your knowing, your intuition is coming more online in little ways all the time. It's an amazing world, I think. So that's grounding things too.
So we should watch for that in our lives,
Yeah.
right? We should watch for our increased connection with our intuition.
Yeah, I think so, because it's coming online more and more, your intuition and your knowing. That something, knowledge is one thing. We gather that through books and schools and so
Yeah.
forth, but wisdom is from your experience. It's like you
Right.
doed it so that you have that experience, and it brings in the wisdom from all of those experiences. I figure I must have a lot of wisdom, because I've been here for a long time. And it's good. So how about you, Mitzi?
I feel like, yeah, Neptune rules formlessness, and Neptune is the spiritual. And so the fact that we're just expanding and all of these, coming online with our awareness and our knowing. Also, Neptune rules water. So, of course, we're mostly water, but it will definitely, I think we're going to see the focus on our oceans, our coastal erosion, our who owns oceans, pollution, water, perhaps water, weather kind of events. That's a big deal. So it's just something to be aware of within and outside of ourselves. Definitely focusing more on hydration. And the guides keep saying this isn't a cookie cutter, one size fits all. You really have to start to be able to discern what is best for you and your body. And muscle testing is wonderful in terms of what is best for my body. Just this kind of knowing and the doctor, the white coat is Saturn. And of course, your inner knowing and your awareness of your own individual system is the Neptune, is your mastery. So how can you merge the two? And it's like the best of all worlds. So it's like the guides had given our class, All Astrology, an exercise to do about how do we begin to make this take shape? What are we talking about? And they
Well,
said,
could you share that with us,
yeah,
please?
they said,
Great.
create a dream, quote unquote dream, for your new identity, your new who container, remembering that you're going from a line into a square, this expanded container. And they're saying, begin playing with the possibilities. And doing this, try to avoid words. So we try to use imagery, symbols, codes, keys, art, color, sound, music. Colette Baron Reed has a beautiful new book called The Art of Manifesting, where she actually has you creating a vision board in a whole new way. And it's almost like it is an organic, it looks like a cell. It looks like a cell that you're creating. And you go back to it, it's completely different from slapping words and pictures on a board and putting it in your closet and hoping for the best. This is like an active, you're organic with it. So anything like that. But the biggest thing, Jim, is your feeling. And another point, and we were talking last week with another friend of the show, Jessica Rush.
Yes.
And she was saying, how we're so conditioned as good people to, when you get an email, you want to respond right away, but you might be flat out exhausted. You're doing something else. And so there's this kind of resentment or this push-pull. And the guide said, what about this? If we make it clear that when you're answering that email in these higher frequencies, whatever you're feeling is going to go with that response. So why
Oh.
wait until you're refreshed, you're fluffy, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed, and you're excited about answering it? That's when to do it, because then that energy will go into it. So what a shift in terms of you feel guilty and I should do this, but you don't want to put any waffling energy into what you're doing. So that's another example of how this energy, we are that, and it goes out from us. So
we're going to convey our feelings along with our communication, even if it's an email.
yes,
Right? Our feelings are going to come through on the other side. Now, that is a totally new thing.
And they said too, in the kitchen, if you see an angry chef, go to another place. You're putting that into what you're creating. And so it's everything. You want that chef who's laughing and the kitchen staff are happy. And not only is it beautiful quality food that you would want, but it's levity, it's light, it's joy. Look for the joy. They're saying you can't go wrong with joy. You can't go wrong with gratitude. You can't go wrong with laughter. Yeah.
No. So number one is create a dream for your new container, that we're becoming a new container. Going to create
All right.
and we're going to create a picture in our minds, right? A picture of what we're going to become, what we want to become.
A picture, it could be a sound, it could be
Color.
you can have a theme song, you can have, it's just like images, symbols. One of the people I worked with last year, her guides told her that her year was going to be a cherries on top year. Now, just the thought that you get everything and cherries on top. I love that. So just that image, cherries on top of everything. And I think it's happened. She reached out and said, it has been.
Oh, that's not a bad thing at all.
It was something that I heard too, where when something wonderful happens or a coincidence and you think, well, how good could this be? And then it's shifted up and say, how could this be better? So that the next time something comes in, it's at the next step up. It's like from a 7 to an 8, because you're asking yourself, your creative self, to bring in something that's even better. How could this be better? When you think sometimes when you're in that bliss, how could this be better? And then it could be. That it's
That's so fascinating because that's a total different approach than right now. I'm just so glad I'm having this happy experience. So like, oh, good. But then what you're saying is that can, with this new shift, it can be better if I imagine it.
yes, yeah, so you can do it. I think
Do it.
that's the thing is just to do it rather than all the thought processes, because there's a part of being wise where you've got enough knowledge to
Right.
use it. But
Right.
thing, it's just do it. The commercial gotta
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Nike's gonna have a renaissance era with just do it, right? Because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there another exercise, another one?
That's the big one. I know they also said about the
Okay.
scaling technique about just if you think back at your year, what were you grateful for? What went well, but what would you tweak to make that go from a 7 to an 8? And what would be the tweak? And I know for me, it's like actually doing the things that I say are so important to me, taking the time, doing the thing instead of just thinking, yes, this is so important to me and this is what I'm passionate about, but I'm giving myself away to things that matter not. Because
Yes.
why? I want to be responsible. And it's just crazy. That would be my tweak. It's what does that look like? And what is the theme or the mantra around that? I know one of the biggest things, I don't know about for you guys, but for me is like nervous system regulation is so important. Because as empaths, and especially as Neptune comes more on board, we feel even more. And when all of a sudden your nervous system it's sizzling, then it gets dry, then it gets blown. And how do we stay on balance with that? Because boy, it's just almost like Charlotte said, at a certain point of the day, it's like the plug has been pulled. You're done. Now you're cranky. Now you're hangry. Like, how can we avoid that? Because to me, that's a big deal with even being out and about. And even this season we're at Christmas time with the marketing and the emails are like triple. And it's the fatigue around being marketed to. I almost want to buy nothing. It's almost
Yes.
having the
Yeah.
opposite. No, thank you. I don't care how good a deal it is. I don't care if I really want it. It's too exhausting to tune into.
Yes.
yeah, truly.
Why are you trying to make me buy jewelry? That I have 5,000 emails each day from jewelry salespeople, whatever. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like on board a cruise ship, they always have jewelry. And I think, who in the heck buys all this stuff? Who needs all this jewelry?
It's interesting, Jim. The guy just said about what we said. Don't just talk about it, do it. So let's examine your year, if we can, Jim, and just off the cuff, what would your 7.0 to 8.0, what would you tweak? What would you dial in the frequency to? What comes up for you around that?
I think what I mentioned about music is I have a barrier, an internal barrier to not wanting to do things that I can't do very well. And I don't enjoy the struggle of getting back into the music or something like that. But I just am thinking in an expanded way here is that how much I will enjoy when I get over that reintroduction hump to get into it, how much I'm going to enjoy that. And it's really indescribable how much I enjoy the tones of the piano and singing and old songs that I love. And I think about it and I'd be, wow, that would be such an increase in my quality of life, even though there is nothing that has been stopping me actually. But I have not done it. I've always gotten tremendous
Enjoyment.
joy and happiness out of, yes, thank you, out of playing music and listening to music. And yeah, I think for me, that's something that I can do. And just the thought of it, it's very exciting.
As you were describing it, when you said this indescribable, my heart just like leapt. And one thing the guides are showing, Jim, is what if you were sitting next to a 5-year-old child and introducing them to the music. It's like you wouldn't have any, you would want to avoid those high standards. And it's just, let me show you. Let's sing. It's like just the joy of that. And that feels absolutely amazing. It's
That's
just,
a very good point. If I treated myself like I would treat any beginner,
yeah.
I would be very I would be very forgiving and encouraging and understanding, but I somehow expect that I'm gonna be able to do it immediately. So that is a great thought, and that would apply to anything that people are planning to do in 2026, that when they're just doing something new and different,
Right.
is having the patience and love for themselves to be able to go ahead and start doing something and learning it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's exciting. Just that how that naturally that came out of you. That's really
Yeah.
amazing. And to even think of what would the symbol of that look like for you, that you definitely want to incorporate that into your dream, whatever
Yeah.
musical notes or symbols or instruments is part of your it's part of your greatness, Jim, is what the guys are saying, is your greatness, and it's also your mastery. So it just feels amazing to think that, of course,
Mhm.
that's what you'll do.
It's eh, very exciting, and as I try to, use what we've talked about and put that in a picture in my mind, yeah, the, sounds of a beautiful chord that I didn't expect was gonna be so rich and vibrant, and there it is. That the sound and the notes on the paper. Yes, I can think of that very easily when I'm using this technique,
Love it.
and so if it's yeah, I think it's gonna be great. It's
Oh,
really exciting.
fantastic. And I loved how you said that what can you do to improve the quality of your life? And somehow or another that resonated with me, like helping me to think about what would I bring in to improve the quality of my life, because I love my life, and yet what could be better? How could I make it better? What
Right.
more is there? And my thought for the next year, for 2026, is really to bring in fun. Like, I'm a person that has to have a purpose, have to have a
Yes.
reason. And so this is just going to be find like a class of something that I never even thought I even wanted to even dream about, and just see what I think. And
Not something that you should do,
yeah,
something that you wanna do or that you
something that
enjoy doing.
I enjoy doing, just to try and see, because my focus before had been like a lot of physical activity, which I love. And yet it's like body's talking to me. And why wouldn't I want to start my painting career again, or some kind of artwork, or just doing things? I was a master crocheter
Okay.
for years ago. I still have the Afghans to prove it. All the So it's like a lot of things that I really enjoyed, and not to bring everything back, but to just explore what I really love to do.
I wanna just say that, I'm feeling a lot of emotion thinking of people listening to this podcast or watching it and embracing this concept that it's real as real can be. It's gonna be 2026 in February, and and it's happening, and it can happen with us or without us,
Exactly.
right? Let's make it with us, and let's take our life from where it is and do something and make it that much better, which is gonna be easier this year than it has been.
Yeah, I think that's putting it in a nutshell. What do you enjoy? Bring it into the world. Just because I think that's maybe what it's all about. Like all of our rules and the way we hold ourselves to certain things, it's respect ourselves enough to just let us have fun.
How about you, Melissa? What are you thinking for the
It's
upcoming change?
it's cool because I know my mother and I must think alike, because I was thinking I want more fun, more laughter, more shenanigans, more hijinks, and just whatever that looks like. But then the guide said it's like this concentrated period to launch your dream between February and May. They said, don't go out and give to the poor, like necessarily. Don't serve it's light your own light, shine, make yourself joyful, because that light that you do for yourself is what goes out into the world. It's not a time to be a do-gooder. It's a time
Okay.
to light up your own heart, your own life with what makes you feel the most joy, gratitude, laughter, happiness. And then that alone, because you're a transmitter and a receiver. But they said the fact that you're in the world with DNA, that's that network. So serve yourself first, because they're already like, oh boy, we see in your mind. Some of us would be like, I'm going to go serve. I'm going to go work at a shelter. I'm going to do. And it's like, they're saying, don't do that. Serve yourself. This is where you're first. And that alone, then you can go out and do whatever you want after that. But seed it in or seed it. Right. And then, yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, let's finish up on that note, and I am psyched. I'm ready to get started on it.
Me too.
And again, thank you, Charlotte and Melissa Abel, so much for this wonderful day. And I really look forward to the next time that we meet and do another interview.
Truly a joy, Jim.
Good joy. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.